Welcome to the official AFL Fantasy podcast with the Traders.
G'day with the Traders. Thanks to Sportsbet. I'm Rory. I coach Destroy, and I'm here with Warnie.
Coach of the Wanderers.
And Calvin.
Coach of Calvinator.
Woo! For me, this is like watching a game of tennis.
Well, it hasn't.
Well, Warnie was on serve. He was hitting aces past you.
Yes.
And now you're finally back on serve, and you got an ace past him.
Got one past him. Yeah.
You saw me get let in the first serve of the game. Thought he was up and about. And bang, 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 bang.
Yes.
I said it all along. Once we get back to these best 22s,
it's back on serve.
It's back on. So
back on serve of
get ready, dog.
Back on serve. Now, that round, I'm going to call it quit round after looking at social media because everyone was ready to quit because
everyone copped something though.
Bullets.
Some more than others.
Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there was a lot going around. Anyone that avoided them all, wowee.
Yeah.
Well done. You would have had a thumper. But
Go and buy yourself a lottery ticket.
I reckon because, it was frustrating and I could feel everyone's frustration, rightfully so.
There was tension.
There was a lot of tension.
There's always tension.
Gee, people get angry.
Yeah.
Don't they?
Yep.
Roy, do you look in the mirror?
I get angry.
You do.
I get angry.
You quit heaps of times over the weekend.
Well, it wasn't my worst one, actually. I didn't cop as many as others.
No, you got a little bit kissed, to be honest.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
100%.
Yes, he did.
Because there were some rookies. There were some rookies that just stepped up in time of need.
Yes, there were.
Definitely.
You know?
Yep.
And some people cashed in on them, Roy.
Well, some people traded them too early, Cal.
Oh, yes, they did.
Now the swagger comes. It's that little arrogance that comes now as
I
well.
can't just sit here and take whack, 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 boys. You've got to punch back.
All right, well, Roy, you were the top scorer of the week out of the three of us with
20.86, and I'll take that every day of the week because, like everyone else, there was times over the weekend where I was, as you boys put it, angry.
Yep.
So that was a save, and it actually improved my ranking to 419. So if you were there thinking somewhere around 2,000 was a disaster, it wasn't actually that bad.
No, it wasn't. I was 3 points less than you with 20.83, and it rocketed me right up into the top 5,000.
Here he
You're
comes.
lucky. The top 5,000 is a cut-off line, I
It's a
reckon.
cut-off, and that's where I am. And I whipped.
Don't.
I was whipping
Stop
hard
setting
home.
me up.
I was coming hard home. So I am now, well inside the top 5,000.
Well in by 45 spots. Well done, VA.
Well done.
No, I'm
Well
proud
in.
of you because, I do want you still to be here for the podcast.
Well, that's it.
Stop it.
Do you, though?
Yeah, I
What's
need
the
a punching
cut-off?
bag.
What are you talking about?
No,
this
I don't know
cut-off?
what you mean by a cut-off. Right, so, well done, Calvinator.
Yep.
I had a 2036, which wasn't awful.
No, it
well, why
wasn't.
don't you catch me? Why don't you get in front of me if it's that bad?
I will.
When? Actually, when will you eat this elephant?
How long does it take to eat an elephant? How long does
You
it
will
take?
not. You will not be able to eat this elephant.
One bite at a time? Yes. You wait.
I actually want to set up a proper game of tennis. I want to see you two play this tennis match.
He's got his Martina Hingis shoes that he wears. Those size 8s.
They're not size 8.
They are 8.5. I'll
They're
give you that.
not 8.5.
They do.
Why
look,
do you have a
the
female
Hingis
pair of...
era.
They're size 10. They're bigger than what you wear.
No, they're not.
They are.
You're also 6'4".
6'8".
It is a female size 10. They are
No,
Hingis-
is that what it is? Is
Oh.
that why you think they're bigger?
Hingis
not.
signature edition.
Why do you wear
Retro.
Martina Hingis shoes?
Hey, she
called
was my
bloody-
favourite player too back in the day.
It's called goddamn fashion. Get on with it.
Right, so I moved down a couple of hundred spots to 1787. The first week that the Warn Dogs haven't moved in the right direction. However,
Hey, it's not up here. It's not easy up here with the big boys.
holding on to a premium player who was out last
Who
week.
was that?
Tom Stewart.
He's
challenged
not
his
a premium.
But no, the Warn Dogs will be right this week, I
Yeah,
reckon.
good hold, dog.
It will get me setting back up while you're all trading out your premiums this week, and we'll get to that later. Calvinator sucked in.
Unlucky.
That's where we are.
Here it is! That's what you did, Ginny. You stuck it right up them.
Mr. Kissed Calvinator.
Why?
Give you some +3 then.
Oh, Fyfe went all right.
God, he was good.
He was elite.
I can't even bag you out too much about this because he was so good to watch.
But you can a little bit because he was being traded out for me.
Oh, that would have
Yes.
hurt. That would have been quit moment.
Yeah. So Fisher was going. Fyfe was going. Then we got news that Fish was going to be the sub. Yeah. So I just switched them around.
Yeah.
Easy little switch on the app, Roy. No fuss there at all. This is very easy to do. and Fyfe comes out with 22 touches in the first half.
Yeah.
In beast Fyfe mode.
Quite
unbelievable.
Didn't he have 15 touches in the first quarter, which he's never done in his career?
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Unbelievable scene.
So he's very handball happy.
Yeah.
But he got a couple of marks.
Yeah, he did.
Even got a goal.
Yeah.
Which I was a little bit excited about,
I reckon.
Roy. Yeah, so 118.
Awesome.
Has saved Calvinator for another week.
And that dominant game, because he worked so hard in it, that rest is coming.
Well, I don't think so.
No, I don't know.
Now, he was the best player in that round over that weekend. So,
yeah.
So he's
complete domination.
Domination.
Yeah. Mine, for the stress relief. So after having failed VCs, quite often this year and having to roll into a captain that you have little faith in, for Max to come out and do that nice and early, it made my weekend. So Max is my +3.
It feels like it was so long ago.
Doesn't it?
Wow.
It's a weird thing.
We talk about some rookies that stepped up, and this one came out basically because of the other carnage that happened over the weekend, and that is Will Graham. 83 he had. Now, if I looked at his stat line and thought, he only had 4 kicks, doesn't matter when you have 11 tackles.
That's unbelievable.
What an absolute machine. He
well
actually
done.
racks up and was very, very good.
He was.
It was the most disgraceful display I've ever seen.
Because it's just not acceptable.
Where do we start?
I'm happy to start.
You go first.
This is ridiculous. Now, do we still have that rule? 3
in a row.
negatives in a row.
Yeah, or
and
3 total, but you're doing it 3 in a row.
3 in a row. You've got to look to trade him out.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to have to look to trade out Andrew Brayshaw. He found a new way to get under my skin this week. So, silly me. I let my guard down for 2 seconds. I think it was 3/4 time, he had 88. And I was like, well, thank you. Because no doubt you'll suck in this last quarter, but you're going to just roll the legs over for a 110. Yep. And he's still quite unique for a reason, because it was a dumb pick to have him, but I thought this is the week where at least he meets some sort of par. What do you think he did in the last quarter? So, he's an all-Australian,
Yep.
highly paid player, used to be highly regarded. What do you think? Give me 88. Do you think
15.
he would have got to his ton?
A 15, you would have been angry with a 15.
I would have. No, mate. I'm at a point where I would have taken a 15.
Right, okay.
Enjoyed it. I just wanted 12 from him to get 100.
12.
Yeah.
And he didn't get 12. He obviously didn't get 12.
He went backwards.
Backwards.
He had 2 touches, 2 handballs, and managed to go back 2.
That's ridiculous. Unbelievable.
And I'm not going to trade him until he's by.
Yep.
When he's worth 658,000.
Yes, he will.
However, come on, man.
Yep.
Give me a break.
Tom Powell gets mine for a 34, and he probably gets the whole fantasy community.
34!
We jumped in on him, and he's been great. He's been a good pick.
Outstanding, I would say.
He goes and gets a bit of a role change down at Bluntstone Arena on Saturday afternoon.
That's
not fair.
Basically became a half-forward flank and really didn't go in the guts until later on when Will Phillips was subbed out of the game.
Yeah.
That was the key thing. It was pretty awful and did not want it either. That's the other part of it.
That's when he did get that handful of CBAs, he didn't touch it or tackle in there anyway.
No, he was no good.
It was extraordinary. Where did that role change come from? I thought he was doing all right.
So he's coming off the back of
77%
CBA, 79%, 77, 89, 93, and then he drops to a 14%.
And Simpkin took them,
Simpkin
of all
took-
people.
Yep. Simpkin.
Oh, man. It's brutal.
All right, mine. Oh, jeez. This felt like... Get a bit of dork on your forehead. We all saw it coming.
Oh, that's
My mate Zorko.
yes.
Role change.
Role change.
Yeah. And he didn't like that role change. He doesn't like sitting forward. Who does?
he does
Tom
not.
Powell doesn't like sitting anywhere.
No, he does not.
So a 62. Now, I can't be too hard on him because he's
been a great pick.
been a good little warrior for me.
He has.
But a 62
Yeah.
is not good
That's
enough. Right?
unacceptable.
So hopefully he gets back doing what he does because they stunk.
They did.
Yes, that was not good. Some players that did well. Actually, one other -3 that we'll give to old mate Jonathan Davis out there, the singer of corn that's cartering the grandstand in front of us. You might hear that in the background at the moment. It'll be nice and clean. Hopefully they can wash out our teams while they're there as well and we look all right. But the weekly winner was Stephen's team, the Slack Jawed Yokels.
Yes.
Simpsons reference there, Cow, with a 22.86.
22.86.
That's a good score.
Well done.
Very good score. But what you can probably see, and this is, the little glass half full that we can see, the teams that did well this week aren't going so good for the season. So Stephen's team's ranked 12,500. The team that came second's ranked 31,500. 52,000th for third place.
Wow.
But that's what so this is the teams that scored well on the weekend. That's what they
It's
were
like a
doing.
Warn Dog 2023 here.
Oh, man. That's unreal, isn't it?
What?
I'm just saying.
So,
Peanut.
I don't know if it's a good or bad thing. Are those teams all coming?
They're coming
for us?
They wanted this best 22 week. That's what they wanted.
Yeah.
The overall leader is still the same, though, is Jordan's team Get Out of the Kiln. Doing all right there, but only a 4-point lead now over Brady's team, Big Dizzle 90. So
Yes, okay.
that's going to be hot at the top. And we did have to do Hat Watch. 100th place currently has 14,067 points. And a bloke who has won a hat before, Daniel, his name is DC.
DC. Unbelievable.
DC Caterpillars is sitting there in 100th spot at
He
the
has
moment.
been charging.
He has.
He has been
Good
charging.
coach, knows what he's doing, and we'll be chasing
Tell
him
you
down,
what,
I
a
reckon.
good thing that he did, and we have spoken about, he kept Colby and looped Colby on.
Oh, wow.
Imagine looping that on.
An amazing hole.
Well done,
Well
DC.
done.
What did you hold, Cow?
I can't remember.
I can.
Your boy.
We were hung as 10 men, and we had to quickly trade.
We did.
And you just went bang on him.
Yeah, that's how I go.
Votes are in for the Michael Barlow Medal. That's our cash cow of the year. And for round 7...
Well, Dog, I am jumping in to award the 5 votes to my boy Colby McKercher. He returned home to Tassie and racked up 32 disposals and 7 marks for 109 fantasy points, the first of many tons to come.
In a time of need, Darcy Wilson stepped up off the bench for me with 92 points. He receives 4 votes for his performance on Friday night and an extra special pat on the back from me for covering Harley Reid.
Lucky. A couple of goals for Richmond's Morris Rioli helped him to 89 points. And he gets the 3 votes from that Anzac Eve clash.
Speaking of lucky, how about Will Graham and his 2 votes against the Eagles? He tackled his way to 83 with 11 cuddles for those all-important plus 4s.
A blitzering last quarter of 38 points helped Matt Roberts to the 1 vote as he finished with 82 points in the final game of the round.
Now, Matt Roberts has added that vote that gets him to 21 and remains at the top of the leaderboard, while Colby McKercher shoots to equal second with Jeremy Sharp on 11 votes.
Here's the news of the week you need to know on the official AFL Fantasy podcast.
Rightio, sit down, boys. Bit going on here this week.
Well,
We've got a fair bit of news. The big one, Calvinator, and you're affected by it. We know a lot of coaches are, and that is Connor Rozee with that hamstring. So that game there, what was that, Friday night? He's gone off with a little bit of a hammy issue.
He was humming.
He was.
He was
on
humming.
track for a 130.
I'll give him 180. Look, he was...
You
and
would've
I
won
was
the round.
early on. I'm always like,
The chest was puffed out.
Max. I had Max. And I was like, oh yeah, here we go. We're on here.
22
Best 22
Yeah,
weeks.
true.
And bang, Rozee. So he has to be traded.
Well, he went off, and
Yep.
then they gave him a bit of a rub, and he went back out there.
Yeah.
And then he went off again and then sat. But basically, how long? Kane kept saying 3 weeks. He's apparently even a little squirt from Live Golf yesterday. No, he'll be fine, he reckons.
I see him
Is that what
walking
he's just
around.
telling people? He's walking around.
He was walking around the Live Golf, he was, Rozee.
Yeah.
And I saw that, and I
Can
was
walk
like,
with a hammy.
could you not be icing it or something? Like, who are you thinking about here, Connor? Yourself.
The
What
thing
about
is,
me?
even if it's quite minor, like it's that shorter turnaround. It's Thursday night.
Thursday
and that
night.
turns us into also good for you coaches with him. You know before you have
Yes.
to make any decisions. at all.
Good that you'll know. Bad that you have to pull a trade that early in a round.
Doesn't bother
If
me, Roy.
it
No, that's
was
true.
just 1 week, you'd still do it.
He goes, yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Fair enough.
That was a bit of a carnage game, that one, because Powell Pepper, an ACL for him, so that sucks. Alia out with concussion, so he was out of the team. And Rowan Marshall, now this was early in the game, and it looked like it could have been game over for him too, and it ended up being a knee knock. Like, they've diagnosed about 3 different knee injuries, everything from a month out to the rest of his career, pretty much in the coverage. But he
helpful.
got back out there. So there was the quote, though, we're expecting him to get up, but he'll have to work pretty hard to get up, which is interesting. Now, some of the things that I was thinking about this at the time, they actually flew both Tom Campbell and also Jack Hayes over as the emergencies. So playing 2 big talls in your 3 emergencies over there for that.
Playing could have been over the weight limit with that. I wouldn't be expecting those big 3 lads on there.
Even if he does play, does he get some support possibly this week?
I think he does. So that's a Saturday 4:35 game against Ex-Erie.
Oh, you can't go in against X injured.
Yeah, no.
He'll need help.
He'll crush you.
We will, we'll have a talk about some options there a little bit later. Now, Jack Steele was the other one. We noticed it during the week.
Weasel down!
The number 3
There
weasel,
he is.
Jack Steele, had his knee all strapped up at training, and we thought, we haven't seen that this year.
No.
And then it was a signitent strapping too. It's not like they just put a little bit of tape on him.
No.
It was
Wasn't a Band-Aid.
It was like he had a whole sleeve
It was
on.
holding it on.
Yep.
So that is something to know, because it is deja vu from last year, because strapped up Steele was not a very good Steele, and that's why we picked him this year, because he was so cheap.
Strapped up Steele doesn't take marks. We knew that. And how many marks do you reckon strapped up Steele took?
I'm going to go 0 then.
0.
Wow.
Yep, it was true to the strapping.
Yep.
That's a worry. That's a big worry.
Jacob Hopper didn't last long with that hamstring, so he was coming back from that knee injury, and so he is likely to be out for a little while now, as is Dangerfield with that hammy, so he should be missing 3 or 4, you would say, with a standard hammy there.
Yep.
Roy, you already had a little whinge about that one, because it meant that your little loophole
Oh,
might be back
yeah.
in. Jai Clark.
Isn't it sick when there comes a time where you don't want them back?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Damn it.
Harry Jones, did you see his snores? That was not good.
Yes, I did.
In the Anzac Day game. Calamar Hammy, he was subbed at half-time. Luke Pedler, who came into the side, he dislocated his shoulder and was subbed out as well. Cody Waiton's elbow. Now, Destroy, you've had elbow
I have
issues before.
Yeah, I felt for Cody because, he's already he's injured it in the past.
Yep.
That's why he wears his sleeve. Not that it would help much, but man, oh man, yep. That's nasty for him.
Josh Draper did a hammy for Freo. Bailey Humphrey, bit of a knee to the head. He was subbed out of the game as well. Now, Sam Clohesy, been a good rookie for us over the last few weeks. Now, hurt his shoulder, but he played on, and that looked like that could have been done, because that was pre-sub as well.
Yeah.
So he could have been the one subbed out there as well.
I was calling for Jack Steele's leftover tape, if there is any, because, man, oh man, it looked like it was about to fall off his arm when he ran off.
Cow, you were pretty excited about seeing Isaac Heeney get a little bit of
No,
a...
it wasn't.
No, you are.
I'm not like you.
I'm going to leak these group chat things.
I do not even say anything. He went down. He looked proppy. I've heard a rumour that he could be rested this week because Parker, the quote is Parker, firmly in the mix for
we
this
should
round.
be played in the twos. We'll get to Magoo's news a little
So,
later.
Heaney, maybe a week off. That's all I'm saying.
No. He had his time off, the last 10 minutes on the bench. That's all he needed.
I don't know. He looked proppy. He woke up very sore this morning, Roy, sources say.
Oh, you know that?
No, I don't. Keep going.
Subs. Zach Fisher. That was a big one. So Mitch Cleary was second to the news on that one.
He was. Well done, Mitch. You get 2 votes for that.
On Friday. So that changed a lot of decisions, didn't it, for a lot of coaches with what they needed to do.
Bit of pivoting, dog.
Pivoting.
Bit of Hakeem Olajuwon in the post.
Now, my man Binzi came in for Orazio, who was out.
Binzi. Get back in there.
6 points he had. So he's keeping his prize at basement, which is handy.
Right.
Good on him.
Now, Libba was laid out with illness, and Daniel came in as a sub, and Bevo did say it was going to be Garcia that was going to be the sub prior to that, but then he ended up into the 22. Cal, you've flagged here a bit of a rest for Elliot Yeo.
Only
possibly.
because they asked Simpson about Harley Reid and whether they'd do something similar for Yeo. So they sort of prompted him to say it. And he said maybe with the lessons we've learned over the last few years, to how to look after our players. Tim Kelly is the same. So Yeo is in beast mode, Roy.
He is.
And
Wrecking ball.
he is. At some point, he's got to get a rest.
At some point, you got to protect him from himself, don't you?
Yes, you do.
Yeah. He's
MRO, a couple of
tough
things out of
unit.
that. So Jack Higgins copped 3 weeks for the Alir sling, or whatever you want to call that one. They'll challenge that, I think, as I think Riley West will as well for his 1 week that he was offered.
That was a bit odd, wasn't it?
Out of the Magoos, now, this was juicy proof.
Oh, my God. Look,
So he did his hamstring, and I was going to say in the
slipped it.
warm-up, but it wasn't the warm-up. It was him running on the ground. Did you see the vision?
That's-
jumped off the ground.
So-
pinged that big hammy.
I've got a serious question. Because he did it, like if it was an AFL game, they hadn't quite reached the banner.
Oh, yes.
So if it was Supercoach and he didn't make it through the banner, would he get that 1 point?
Don't know.
Don't go there.
Just wondering. Serious question.
Yes, he still gets it.
So, now, the thing about that is that Nick Madden did very well in his absence. 31 disposals with his 33 hit-outs, 8 marks, 7 tackles, 162 points he had. So
Have Moisey.
if old mate Briggsy needs a rest or someone there, Madden should be pretty good. Now, Faye had 39 disposals, 10 tackles and 162 as well. But old mate Hainsey, 145 he had. But probably the
Haynes.
Magoo's news worth having a talk about, Cow, you flagged it just before, was Luke Parker.
Oh, no.
So he was back and he eased his way back in with a lazy 34 disposal and 125 points.
Still got it.
Still got it.
Massive. So, yeah, fair bit of news, and there's a lot of stuff that we'll have to stay across on afl.com.au and the AFL Live official app this week because things could affect us, and that's probably the key to it, that we do have some things that may affect our trades and how our teams line up a little bit heading into round 8. But the issues that we've made a pretty big list here. We've got a bit to talk about today. Let's start off just with the role changes, a simple one. So Dayne Zorko on that Thursday night, on Anzac Day night, was he started forward, Cal.
He did.
I remember you laughing when teams came out
See?
saying forward pocket.
Yeah.
Laughing, I was saying, I know that's going to happen, and it did.
And it did.
Genius.
It
You
did.
laughed
and
even harder when it
What
did.
what Zorko did well, though, was he didn't do well there,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, right,
So, and that's the way you need to do it.
You do.
You know, Heeney goes forward, kicks 3. Okay,
Cooked himself.
Yeah, you don't do that sort of stuff. So he's gone forward. He stunk.
Yeah.
Now he did go back for a little bit, and he got hungry. I think he got to 44 at the half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just all over the place with him at the moment.
So he had that sort of, it was a mid-forward role essentially, but
Yep.
he still played 40% defence. So his splits, and this is from Frico on Twitter, 40% defender, 23% midfield, 37% forward.
Yep.
But it is a worry just moving forward that he is versatile and will do that possibly.
And he's someone that you 100% cannot buy into.
No.
There's no way you would.
I mean, that was the flags.
It was.
We did flag enough. Nick Martin, he went forward in that last quarter.
See,
Was
what's
that
that?
about Jones being out?
I think so.
Bit of X factor because he can play well in that sort of role.
Didn't Hind start as sub again?
He did.
So he's only got one role these days, and it's that attacking half-back sort of thing. So that happened in the shuffle. Now, what Nick didn't do well is play bad.
Yeah.
So when he was forward, he was excellent.
Yep.
But, like, that's what good players do. Some players go to half forward and pack up shop and think you can't do anything up there. Nick Martin obviously played well up there, which is a slight concern, Dog, but I am 100% comfortable that he will start
I don't think you're going
half-back.
to, and I don't think you're going to
As
jump
per.
at him changing a role because he can still find the ball pretty well.
Yes.
As opposed to who we mentioned before is Tom Powell.
Oh, stop it, pal.
So Powell,
He did a great job of not playing well.
yeah, he didn't. That couch is getting pretty close.
It's getting
here, I
real
reckon.
close. It's actually
I
getting a
feel
little bit scary.
I think I might get some drops of
will.
water over
Fair
here.
chance.
Now, so Tom Powell, is it a concern?
Yeah, it is.
What about the fact that they subbed out Phillips? Is that a positive? Like, is Phillips further down the pecking order? Powell's been good, it's worked for him like that? Or is Clarko getting Bevo-like?
Yeah, this is a huge worry. Like, we need someone in a presser this week
Yep.
to ask this question because, let's face it, unless you're talking fantasy, no one in the AFL is talking about Tom Powell.
No.
We need someone in there to say, look, Tom Powell has an awesome stretch in the midfield, played really well, gone forward, waste of space. what's the role with him moving forward? We need to know. Because if he's half forward again, he gives up there. We need him out.
So he played 79% game time. He kicked a goal in that.
Tom.
He had 3 kicks, and one of them was a goal.
Not good.
Unbelievable.
There is a chance, though, at that presser that they do ask about Tom Powell, and Clarko will say who.
Well, that's true as well. He may also get dropped or vested after
He could,
that.
definitely.
Well, if Fisher was as well. I know that Fisher hasn't been epic and all that sort of stuff, and the roles in the team, because you've got Colby there that's much better than what Fisher has been off a half-back, etc., etc.
Yes.
There's every chance that Powell could be.
Oh, God. It would actually be a small blessing because you'd have to do it.
Yes, you would.
All right, forward line is where it has been an interest all year because we don't know who the best forwards are. We know a couple of them, but where we might go shopping there, because that's where some coaches want to go. It might be that you are getting rid of Powell. It might be that you're upgrading those rookies like an Ollie Dempsey who only dropped a 50 for us this week. Some of those players that it's
he had a
time
good
to
start
go.
Too, Dog.
Yeah, I know. 32, I think it was in the first quarter.
And he managed 20 after that.
Not good.
Boy, yoy.
That is awful,
Isn't it?
Concerning.
That was just summing up the round, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So,
where are we going there? Where do we go?
So, Cal,
Yes.
this is where you came to your four. You
Right.
come in here. You're actually with the first one here today.
I was sitting. Where was I?
Yeah, he was sitting down in the grandstand because he doesn't have. I don't trust him with the key to get into
Fair
the office. But he's sitting down in the grandstand
And
with
pen
his
and paper?
laptop, pen and paper, sitting there.
Hang on, you didn't have to plug your laptop in out there.
No, it's got a battery now.
laptop.
Oh, yes.
So what I started was I wanted to rank the forwards, and I wanted to do it under some categories of value, role,
Right.
okay, ability to average 85,
Yeah.
and our confidence, reliable
Yeah.
factors around them as a player.
Okay, sounds very interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
And we scored all these categories, and we did it as a group, so I'm not taking the full hit on the head for this dog.
You had the final say.
He did.
Yes, and we're doing it my way, right? So we'll go through them, and we'll start at number 10,
Yeah.
and we'll work our way up to.
So this is the revealing of the rankings.
This is the revealing
Holy
of the
hat.
rankings
Can this change still?
Where we go in the forward line.
of where we go in the forward line, players that you should be targeting this week, and we're going to go 10 to 1.
Oh, there's some names here I don't like to even mention.
This should match up with my role on 22, really.
No, because this is more of a
you're
trade
buying this
target.
week.
Okay,
You're
okay.
buying into.
Right.
Because we use value as a big factor here.
All right.
Did you have a coefficient on that? Did you put a little bit of an extra...
Extra weighted percentage in Excel.
Clever.
You're incredible with this
You're
work.
right.
Are there colours on this spreadsheet?
I've got just yellow at the moment.
Right. I want you to do a little screenshot. How do you do that these days, Cal?
I know how to do everything, dog.
Yeah.
Don't worry
I
about
want you
me.
to tweet it out.
Okay.
It's a nice keyboard.
Right. It's a great little keyboard. A little clunky. That's okay. Right. Roy, we're going to start at number 10, and I want you to talk about 781,000. We're talking Macrae.
Oh, my goodness. Well, he deserves to be spoken about.
I'm with you.
Purely because the numbers he is pumping out. Now, if we go back a few years, and this was Nick Riewoldt starting at centre-half forward and getting these numbers,
Yep.
you would be like, we're launching into it. Obviously, in fantasy, we have a bit of a key forward thing, Don, and that's what you're stressed about over there, and that is highly warranted. But can I just say, Macrae has not kicked...
Okay.
Harry Mack.
He's okay. Anyway, so he hasn't kicked over 2 goals.
Yes.
And he's doing this. It's not like it's been a bag here and a bag there. Look, I'm not saying to do it, but as far as value goes, yes, he's getting it done.
So right now, he is the 4th highest averaging forward. The 4th highest. And you can pick him up for under 800.
Look, I'm just going to say, over the course of his career, he's never proven to be quite this consistently good.
Yep.
So I'm going to say no, but God, I love what he's doing.
We'll whip through a couple here. So for 30K cheaper, we
Yeah.
have Liam Baker.
Look, Bakes works his backside off.
Yep.
So I have a bit of faith in Baker. Yes, he's a bit of a miss to fix it, but less so than he used to be. So I think the consistency will be there for him more now than it has been in the past.
Then next on the list, we've got Caldwell, who is about the 780 mark. But he failed for you on the weekend.
Yeah,
I reckon there's a bit of recency bias here.
Well, by who? Me? I didn't have... Did you weight me more than everyone else
You
in
only
that?
got a 5% weighting.
So the thing here, I agree, Dog. I think there is, because if we had done this last week, Caldwell would have been right up there. The flag with Caldwell was there's people like Setterfield that'll come back, Shield will come back, his CBAs will dry up. Now, what we didn't see is his CBAs drying up for Jake Stringer. So that whole, all those roll flags actually came forward a week, and that's why he's down that far.
Okay, number 6 on the list, and this guy is the 5th highest averaging forward with 93. He's gone 96 in his last 3. He's about the same price as these guys talk about, and we're talking Brian Myers.
He's been consistent.
You take him, Dog. You love Myers.
He's the next Messi. Now,
so after round one he scores a 70. Since then he's gone at 96.
he's just been consistent, but this is the problem. Are you paying the price of what he is now? I feel like you don't get the ceiling from him.
Yeah, you're definitely right with that.
But consistency in a forward line where you're not getting
That's
that.
the thing. Boring is great in the forward line.
Yes.
A boring 85 is like party time.
What do we give him for a role in that?
A roll for Myers, we scored him a 3 out of 5.
Because that's what it is. Like, he's not a CBA guy.
He doesn't
get
need it.
access, but that's the thing. He's not going to get the access to those points.
He deserves to be there.
He does. So he's 700 and let's call him 790.
I just could never click accept trade.
Neither could I. Now, we're into the top 5. Don't forget, this is value and scoring ability, a bit of everything here. Then we have, at 680K. 680K!
Yeah.
Matt Kennedy.
Too much of a bargain not to be that high. Now,
It's got to be talked about.
Kennedy is someone, if you're
Trust.
getting him in, you got to know you're getting him back out at some stage. So you're hoping to keep him until he's by, because this doesn't last for Kennedy. Kennedy in this role is a 90-plus guy, and for that price, you can take that on. His break-even would be in the 40s. The flags with him are he is Carlton's Swiss Army knife.
Yep.
If there's a hole forward, he goes there and he doesn't score. I've been there before. If there's a hole back, he actually does score off the half back. So he needs that mid and half back, but you never know when he's going to whack a 50 on you as a forward. On the weekend, his CBAs were massive, and he averages 95 plus in that role. I think he had 27.
So he's gone 102, 191 in his last 3 in that role.
Yeah.
Look, we're not saying he is a must-have or anything like that, because with every one of these forwards, there is a flag.
He's a hole filler. Now, how long till Chera's back?
Yeah, he's back this week, they reckon.
Yeah.
Well, see, that could be Kennedy,
Yes.
Gonski straight away from the midfield.
Number 4 on the list, at just over 700K, Warnie, Dylan Moore.
Yeah, I like it. And I agree with that ranking that he's ahead of all the other guys.
Yes.
Myers and Kennedy. But yeah, I like him. I think the reason I like him, he's got the ability to average 90, which he's shown in the past, without having to be a centre bounce guy. And he, 114 or something like that on the weekend? Wasn't
Yeah, it was.
Something like that. I think he's an option. The Hawthorn flag's there, I guess.
Yep.
That's the thing. And he has dropped a couple of 40s this year. So that's an enormous flag. His floor is not very good. But a couple of good scores back to back, getting him at a decent price. He's worth having a crack at.
Are we just getting another Powell?
Well, and that's it. I don't think any of these guys are
But
better
he plays
than that.
half forward and doesn't score 34. Correct. 40-something, but not 34.
See, Powell needs the role, whereas I'm with you. Like a Moore doesn't. He
Pushes
doesn't
up the ground,
need the
takes
role.
marks, does what? Yeah.
But then again, he's had some terrible scores
has.
this year.
Yeah, but can you give a little bit of excuse? Was he coming off glandular fever?
For one, I would give an excuse. 2 40s.
Yeah.
Number 3 on the list. You guys got him last week. Jack Macrae, 730K.
We're old men.
The
We're
value-
old school players.
We are.
The value's still there.
It is. It was a hard watch,
Yeah,
I must
bloody oath it
admit.
was.
He's far from the workhorse he used to be.
Yep.
He
Everything
still tried hard.
but everything looked hard.
Yeah.
Like he was trying hard, but it looked really hard. Like I was talking to you boys about it last night. There was a time I saw him attempt a tackle that was broken, and it literally took him about 2 minutes to peel himself back up and start jogging
Spent
to
a
the
fair
next
bit of
contact
time on the
again.
ground.
He did. But I think he deserves number 3 spot.
So last week, Bailey Dale had 9 marks.
Yeah.
Okay. He was the second highest with 7.
Yeah.
Now they play Hawthorn this week. Last week, 7 players from Sydney had 9+ marks. If you're willing to take a mark against Hawks, you could have a day out.
I think Macrae set some sort of new record. They're taking a stat on it. How far people led to take the marks.
Yes.
And he led a total of 1 metre to take those 7 marks.
Not hungry.
No, he just stands in space and people just don't worry about the old dude standing there and he gets a mark.
Yeah, I can see that all day. Now, number 2 on the list is Heeney as still a trade target. So 950. Is that too much?
Not if he keeps going at 120s, but he didn't do that on the weekend.
That's big.
No, he's getting a lot.
I mean, the value...
You're better off getting a midfielder for that price. That's the thing.
This is... Yeah, so I agree totally, Doc. For that price, you are way better shopping for like Jordan Dawson and that type of thing. But we always say the extra value of forward status, but that's never been more than now. If you've got a premium dude at the moment...
Because there is a gap.
They're hard to fill. It's hard to fill 6 forward spots.
Yeah.
And so here you go. Would you buy Heeney over Macrae for 200 and something K?
No, I'd go Macrae.
200K is a lot.
It is.
That's an upgrade from a sharp to a underpriced premium.
So I hate to say it, but I'm backing in Jack.
So Macrae should be ahead of Heeney on our list.
Wow.
Top of the list was Flanders, only because he's cheaper than Heeney by about 20K.
Oh, and he's just... He's F1.
If he was a mid only, I would be buying into him.
Yeah. So we're saying
That's
at the
how good
moment,
he is.
we're saying if you don't have Flanders, he's the one you need to get in your forward line.
Yeah.
We'll go number 2 at Macrae for that value.
I don't even love that, though.
But it's value of 200 odd
with
K.
risk.
But for 200K in a forward line. So this week, I could have Heeney or Macrae.
Yeah.
Right?
They scored the same.
Well, they did, exactly.
That's true.
So I'm going Macrae for the extra 200K, and I'm happy for him to have a 75. I don't want Heeney having a 75 for me.
No.
Because you were praying for that, though.
100%.
He won't. That's the thing with Heen.
No, he won't.
He's way safer.
Now, other names we did cover in our research here was Taylor Adams, who's risky. Jake Waterman, who's been very
killing it, Waters.
New Fraser Gehry.
I love that.
We talked about Fyfe. He didn't make the 10.
No, but
he was
What?
good.
See, the thing is, value, 600K.
Yeah. But, mate, that's his first score, I reckon, over 80.
Yeah.
For a long time.
Yeah.
So,
fair.
And a rest and all these other things.
You would know, mate.
So you now know how kissed you have been. with
Oh,
us.
dog, 100% I do. 100%. We also talked about the old mate Zorko, but
So Zorko doesn't even make the list.
how is he going to make the list?
No, I know.
Right.
value got...
Value, role, everything.
Yeah.
We did talk about McInerney
Age.
as well. We did talk about McInerney.
Yeah, would have he been all right if he wasn't tactically subbed off, though? He'd be in the 10.
But then where does your confidence level sit with someone that's being subbed out?
Against Hawthorn.
Was it a rest?
A rest.
So,
You got heaps of players you could rest.
So you'd bump Big Harry with McInerney, wouldn't you?
Probably.
McInerney's 700K.
Yeah, and what's Harry?
Harry is, 780.
McInerney.
You probably have to.
Especially when you think, and that's where your Matt Kennedy comes in at number 5 at 680. He's 100 less than old Harry Mack.
See, it's Kennedy. He's high in there for how vulnerable he is with his role.
But at
that
680.
price,
But at 680 in a forward line that just sucks anyway.
access to 100, break even of 40. That's why he's that high.
We were in
Well, there
Brisbane
you
this
go,
time
lads.
Last year when you picked him.
Yep. Stroke of genius.
There you go. And I'm going to say, and that's how you create content, you lot. Check that out.
Well done.
Thank you.
Just don't listen
This
to it.
new laptop just paid for itself.
Now, the next one is talking point was rookies and cashing them out. So we've all got a few that we probably are ready to say goodbye to. I'm going to throw a couple of names. Jeremy Sharp. So he had a pretty ordinary game there
Wow.
with 39 points. Thing is, he's been bloody good. Like his last
He has.
few, 74, 65, 106, but now he's sort of maxed out his price. His break-even's got up to 76. He's at 570K,
He was on a cold wing.
and it was cold.
It was a cold wing.
Getting
now,
burnt.
He's
True.
got Richmond this week.
You know what I call him on the cold win?
What do you call him?
James Blunt, not Jeremy Sharp.
I love it. See that?
Content creator.
Worst call ever. Carry on.
Yes,
Quick,
right.
save me.
Don't you throw any shade at these content creators anymore, Roy.
The fact he's playing Richmond this week, I think he's going to bounce back. Surely when
Yes.
they do a game review, they're like, why didn't we give it to James out there on the wing? Why didn't we get it out to him? But you're right, they looked
Get on
at
the
him several
Sharpie when
times.
they
and just went,
did.
no, thanks.
Because he was on the blunt one.
Yeah, so I'm willing to give him another go.
Are you?
Yeah, against the Tigers.
What, as someone you've got on the bench, or would you give him a game on the field versus them? Because it sounds like a good matchup.
I'd probably field him. Yeah. Which doesn't feel great after that, but I'd give him another go.
He played like 98% game time.
Yeah, he
it
doesn't come
was
off.
huge.
And the thing is, like, he has been a fieldable player for us.
Big time.
The other fieldable player like that is Oliver Dempsey, who's at 547. His break-even's now 76. He had a 50, and as we mentioned before, had 32 in the first, 18 for the last three quarters.
How?
So, and his numbers have been okay, but now it's back-to-back 50s.
It is.
So that's an issue, and that's where it's almost time for him to go.
Yeah, no
But
longer fieldable.
again, that's where we go to that forward discussion there before. You try to get him to one of those. Although, let's erase all the stuff that Calvin's just said.
Yep.
Do you not even bother trying to do that and just play some rookies there in the forward line?
Well, because if you go... So who goes first, Dempsey or Tom Powell?
This is a problem.
You know what I mean? Like, so in my feeling, I'm
so
just
throwing that out there. Tom Powell, his break-even is 118 now. So if that role stays the same, that's a significant drop if you wanted to watch again. Which I think I'm in the gut feel of watching again.
Are you?
Yeah.
Give him one more.
We need sources onto that one.
Badly.
A presser this week. We need to get Drew or someone into it.
They just need to ask.
Yep.
If he's playing forward
Have a look
again,
at his profile picture on Tom Powell. That's a fair head tilt.
Yeah. It's not good.
but it's a happy one.
Happy. Just happy that he's on a list.
Oh, stop.
So when you have a look at their midfield makeup for last week, so LDU and Wardlaw were their two big ones.
So Wardlaw back into the team.
Back
wasn't
into
he,
the
after
team.
he was-
Yep. Simpkin's been big in the last 2 weeks.
But he still can't score.
No, 54 and a 60%. But obviously they're trying to throw him back in there. And then next, this week, was Paul Curtis with 26% of it.
Who?
Exactly. Then Sheasel, who popped in for his most CBAs for the year. So he's like I don't know if you pick up a bunch of bananas and there's 6 of them, but he's the 6th.
So,
If that.
so I think,
Green too, I reckon.
It's a green banana.
given his matchup this week, I think even Kapow can hit 75
As a forward?
As a forward.
I don't know about that, Roy.
And that's enough.
You're going to give him another go.
So I'd be trading
Only
Dempsey
based on
over
matchup, I
Powell.
think.
And is this the old school me of going get your rookies off the field that are maxed out in price? That's the other side of it. Dempsey's maxed out in price.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep Powell over Dempsey, I think.
Okay.
Yep, same. That's where that is. A few other names floating around, and I'm just looking at my team as an example there. Cadman, he's almost done there. He scored a 33, so his break-even's at 53. So, cash out, a couple of $100K out of him. Gallagher, he might be lucky to keep a spot in the side, I reckon. His break-even's up to 61 at 422K.
So they're fattening, yep.
Yep, so and there's probably a few others that we can talk about. Oh, what about Hugo Garcia, that 41? What about that decision? I reckon a lot of people would have gone Garcia over Wilson.
Yeah.
Just because of the tackle
So you got,
access.
and even that this week, it's Wilson and Garcia against North.
Yeah.
Like, who do you go there? You got to go the guy coming for 90.
100% you do. I think
I think I'd do that with a fair bit of confidence as well.
I think they both should be okay this week.
I agree.
If Garcia stays in the team.
That's right.
Yep. Super interesting. All right, and the last point that actually a couple more, but Jordan Sweet is a talking point, of course.
Sweetie.
So he's 443K. Now, here's the go. We heard last week that Soldo has had a bit of a knee op, clean out or something or other there. About a month or so he's going to be out for. So doing the maths on that, if he has a little bit of a setback, he could actually get you through the buys even. Now, here are some scenarios. I'm going to start with one where a few people thought it was a genius idea to go with the 3 premium rucks. That's going with Max, Grundy and Marshall.
Yeah.
No, not Max,
Xeri.
Grundy and Xeri, sorry.
Yep.
And what they've done is been able to ride that. Good play. I think it's worked out to be a pass or a better than pass.
It's been fine.
As long as you got the rest of your team right with that. The thing is, though, who do you choose to get rid of? And that would have been an interesting decision for coaches to be rolling with that last week. Especially, I think everyone was all coming off good scores. But then you had Grundy. he popped a 70, but that could have been a 50
It was
quite
looking
easily.
bad.
It was looking really bad.
And X only had an 80 as
Yes.
well.
Yeah.
So, but what you could be doing is getting rid of one of those guys down there. You're going to bank some cash by doing that, and therefore that keeps some more cash generation going on your bench.
Yes.
And then if it does go through the buys, because they've got that nice buy in round 12, he would then be covering from your other 2 rucks going through there.
It is
great little play.
Could be a
Great
good
play
play
at
if
the
you're
moment.
doing that. I think
Yes.
that would be a really ideal type thing to do if
Yeah.
you didn't do it last week, because I know a few coaches did pull that last week and
Yeah.
went with that. The other one is, now, Marshall being an issue
Yes.
is a significant issue.
This is
Could you go Marshall down there as your R2?
This
and
is a
bank
move that I used to make.
significant coin.
These types of things, because realistically, you think of it more as a swap between going Marshall to, who did you suggest?
Like a
say
Zach Merritt. Yep.
It would be, you'd be going, look, Marshall's injured. He's either going to share or miss soon. He's not scoring well due to his, injury. I'm just going him to the top.
Yep.
So that's why I used to make that kind of move.
Yeah, so you'd be going Marshall to Merritt and then Sweetie for a Jeremy Sharp or a Dempsey or someone like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I really try to avoid things like this now.
Yeah.
But
I think
it's there.
Yeah, so Marshall coming off 73. He's got a break even 158. He's dropped 45K last week.
Yeah.
And nearly 100K in total.
Sweetie's no guarantee to keep playing that well.
No.
Although I do respect him highly. His ability to score with these rucks that are
96
seasoned.
he had.
Yeah, and with these seasoned rucks, VFL form is never. There's never a time it's a better indicator than with a seasoned ruck. Like if you average 110 in the ruck solo in the VFL, it is no surprise to see you come in and push 100 at the top level either. And he has huge numbers historically in the VFL. I haven't looked how he's been going in the Samful, but I can't imagine it would be too bad.
I don't think so.
Yes, it's a play.
It's a play. I tick that off. Especially if there start a bit of smoke around your Marshall this week.
Yeah.
And what teams might look like.
It definitely gets that rookie up to a big dog.
It
That's
does.
what would be really nice about it.
Yeah. It's just a shuffle on your ground.
It is.
And if you're running the gauntlet with rookies on the ground at the moment, or rookie types, Sweetie's the best of the bunch, really, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Any other rucks you'd do it with? Would you do it with Grundy?
No, I don't think so. I don't think... Like, you can risk this play. That's really risky, I reckon, if you're doing a Grundy.
Yeah, okay.
Marshall, yes, because there's smoke and prices dropping, all of that sort of stuff.
And it's only Monday. We need to hear more about Marsh.
a lot of
like
stuff
if it just turns out that it's just a bruise,
Well, that's it.
you just keep playing him.
Yep.
All right, let's have a look at the most traded players ahead of round 8. These are early doors with Darcy Jones, the most traded player, the cash cow there, after his great 70 to begin his career, with Jack Macrae, Bailey Dale, pair of dogs there, Zach Merritt, and then Jordan Sweet.
Oh, they're
is
doing
the
it.
5th most traded in player. Probably a couple of different ways people could be doing that with. You could even just do it for your bench.
Yep. You could.
Interesting. Jeremy Sharp is the most traded out player that we're seeing so far. Reached his peak. Zach Fisher after being sub. Riley Sanders too, although he's very good in their VFL pracky game. Ollie Dempsey and Zach Williams are the most traded out at the moment. Tom Powell was 6th on the list. Kapow. Anyone considering trading out? Powell?
Yes, he goes for me. So Kapow goes out, and I'm bringing in Macrae this week. Good matchup. And because I copped a bullet, Roy, with Rozee.
Oh, brutal.
You know how I go? Straight to the top.
Yeah, nice.
Zach Merritt's coming in.
You must have had a little bit of coin to do that.
Only a little bit, dog. Don't you worry about that.
I'm going the traditional rookies. Get them off your field type thing. Cadman goes to Woden, and then Ollie Dempsey goes to Darcy Parish. So I don't have all the coin to do that. I do it very tightly. A couple of K left over. But Darcy Parish, like your Zach Merritt, like the drawer, he's got the same draw because he plays with the Bombers.
Correct, Warnie. Well done.
Right, well, we're all in similar areas. I'm a bit of a combination of what both of you two are doing. I'm going Dempsey to Woden, and that will give me enough cash to go Sharpie to your boy, Zach, or should I say Zachy
Merritt.
How can you call him your boys? He's my boy. Go Bombers.
Got a question for the traders? Tweet the boys at AFL Fantasy or head to facebook.com/AFL Fantasy Official.
Tweet. Let's have a look at the questions coming through.
Can I ask the first one?
Go.
Why do they call him Zachy?
Zachy Merritt, Rossi Lyon.
Why did they get on a massive putting a Y on the end of everyone's name the other day?
Isaac Heeney.
Well, you've called yourself Roy for a long time.
It's not
You've
Roy.
just been Row to us the whole time.
That's true.
Call
Sorry
me
about that.
Call me Callie.
Callie.
Warnie.
God.
Yeah, I don't
Ridiculous.
know.
No, but I am serious about
It's
that.
borderline stupid.
It was stupid.
Yeah, it makes me angry.
And then it gets contagious.
It does, yes.
Everyone's a E. Oh, stop it.
Yes.
Just stop.
Please.
Sorry.
Is that the end of the question? Sorry, dog.
Chris
Go.
wants to know, is Fisher to Jones and Rozee to Green leaving $400K for next week a good trade? Jeez, it was nice to have cash to spend this week.
Look, Chrissy. Yes, definitely something you could do. Green's 100% a target.
Who?
Greenie.
Thank you.
Thank you. Tommy Greenie.
Isaac Smith, are we taking into account the mid-season buys yet? Can be the difference between the premium trade option if it fits structure. Yeah, it is the thing.
I think it's the hair splitter I've been calling
Yep,
it
I like
because someone that I would have so high on my radar at the moment is Errol Goulden.
Yep.
I've looked ahead to the buys.
Yep.
It would be stupid of me to bring him in, given how heavy I am loaded on that buy already. So he's someone that I want, but I can't get. So use it as a splitter between your premium options, I reckon.
Paddy's got this one over on the Instagram story. Cam Guthrie is his question.
Yeah.
So back in for his first game. Got Dangerfield out now.
He turned up too, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah.
We talked about him at the start of
If
the
he
year.
had had a clean pre-season,
Yeah.
and he would have been an option for us.
Because given we start our pre-season basically in September, and we've got a lot of content to provide, Cam Guthrie's name popped up a lot at his price. And, I mean, it suggested that he was well and truly underpriced. He's come out now and scored like he is underpriced. Could you go there?
He had a 104. He's about 40-odd K less than your parish dog, if you want to shop in those areas. But I obviously have a bit more faith in... Oh, jeez.
Can you have faith in
You
Parish?
couldn't even say it.
couldn't
There's
even
been a few
say-
more. There was a medal on the line as well. That's the other.
Yeah.
You can't say it.
Look, he was good. What do you have there? 27 touches, 7 marks.
Yeah.
And he's now their
Number
one banana.
He is.
Yep.
What's the go with Clayton Oliver?
Oh, my.
Just can't go there, can you?
Not yet.
I'd
You
like
just
to
need
know,
one?
do you need one? So he's down nearly 300K, 741.
I think we reassess after the buy when he's 500,000.
He had a 65.
Well, Gareth says his season's cooked. Do you think throwing a Hail Mary on Clayton Oliver to come good?
Nah,
That 65 he had last week,
just wait.
the 65
Don't do it
last
to
week
yourself.
was his highest score in his last 3.
I know. And at times in the game, I was thinking, oh, Clary's back here. He's back. And then I look at the end of the game, 65.
Break even 137. He will have a 6 in front of his name.
This Hail Mary has a % of success rate sitting at about 4%.
You'll have
Don't
plenty.
do it.
You'll have plenty of time to get on.
You'll be too upset.
Yep, don't.
Jesse, my golden rule is to never trade out against Ross's Saints. So you don't trade a player if you're playing against
this
Saints.
is a
So is
good
there any
rule.
hope for a 90-plus from Powell this week?
Yeah, it's a good point.
There is. This is why we hold Powell. If they were playing Port Adelaide or something,
Yep.
I'd say just get rid of him, but no.
Tim's considering the Grundy move down to Swede. Is it too extreme?
No, it's not. It's not extreme. I don't mind it.
But you 5 minutes ago said don't do it with Grundy.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a play, but
What's Grundy been doing?
He was
massive
two
last
weeks
week.
ago.
72, 142, 93, 103. No, I'll go back on what I just
he
said.
looked tired yesterday, though.
Was he? Oh, I didn't know that.
God, you confuse me when you go in reverse order
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I just read it as it is. We'll have a conversation, but that's a dedicated podcast one day.
Steve wants to know, is it Laird or Touk to get in? Touk looked good. But
He
then
did.
again, then this is another golden rule you could make. Don't put too much weight on their last game if it was against the Eagles.
Well, there's that as well. So Touk, he's actually put together a pretty solid little block now. He's a great value pick. The thing we have to decide with Lairdy, is he back? Is his role back and solid enough? Like, that's an easy
Nixie
game.
in the presser loved him.
He
was
played
pretty happy
versus
with
North.
him.
Well, and I saw Nixie through the week as well said he reckons Lairdy's back this week.
Yeah, right.
So what happened?
So
Did they
one-
just say, Lairdy, you're back in the guts? Sorry, proper role, full time.
121 against North last week, and then the 2 games but leading into that, he couldn't get over 85.
Just go Touk.
I have Touk a little bit more confidence rating than I do Lairdy.
Better team,
Touk's gone back-to-back tons.
Yeah.
That's Touk.
better team, and more guaranteed role.
Yep.
Michael wants to know, is Bailey Dale a trap?
Roy,
I think he's a trade target, to be honest.
Yep.
I hate to say it,
I
but
know.
he had like a 77 in the first game, which, whatever. That's a long time ago now. After that, he had that 40. It was like a 45.
Yep.
And then he copped a vest because of that. Every other game has basically been a ton.
Yep.
And his last 2 are absolutely nuts. What's he gone? He's gone 160 and 134. His break even is low. He's taking a truckload of marks. Flag is the 160 was against St Kilda.
Yep.
But
He's got Hawthorn this week, who I said before, Sydney had 4 guys hit 10 marks against them.
759, I reckon he's great shopping.
So do I.
Rob Drake's got this. Can downgrade Zach Williams to anybody? Who's the best rookie target? We didn't necessarily talk about our rookie targets, but Woden ahead of Darcy Jones.
I would say so.
I think so.
They're
Now,
the ones in the 2 to 300k range.
Darcy's job security was always a worry because Toby Green was only going to be out for that 1 week. Now, he has stepped up 2 goals, 7 score involvements. I don't think he can be dropped, but he's probably, because they're so strong, he's only in there for, I don't know.
Yeah.
Does he hold his spot? Is he...
I think he holds. He
he
has
does
to.
this week.
Yeah.
Long term.
Long term, yeah.
Compared to Woden.
See, I like Woden. The thing I like about Woden too, which may not be part of your thinking, is that he's got that defender forward status, which can be handy. Because neither should be on your field. That's the other sort of part of this
So,
conversation.
he's copped a heap of vests
Yeah, so he's...
this year.
Yeah.
Is he
And
out
he's-
of them?
And he scored well out of them. Like, scored well enough out of them to see his price going the right
I
direction.
like them both. And I love DJ. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just worried. I'm just trying to weigh up the job security of the pair of them. I think Woden's probably got him just.
So last week they vested Bill Laurie started in the vest.
Yeah.
And then and then Windsor came
Yeah.
off. So
And so that was amazing what GWS so confident at the moment because Green was out, but didn't they put Daniels in
In the vest.
Didn't even put him on.
But he had a bit of an injury niggle, I think.
So he's someone that he's a walk-up player for their best
You'd
22
think
as
so.
well. And they're similar roles. So if he's fighting for Green and Daniels for that role, the week that they're all healthy and available, he might find himself in
Such
a
a good
vest.
win.
So, yeah, I agree. Woden's played 5 games this year, and that was his first one out of the green vest.
Yeah. And he took it
Was
with
it?
both hands,
Yep,
didn't
it's
he?
his first one. Yes, he did. He was very good.
Was he in the vest last week?
He was.
Did he get on
didn't-
early
He
then?
didn't play last week.
Oh, because he had to buy your peanut.
Yes.
The week before then.
He was in the vest again.
Was he?
So when I said he was in the vest for every game except for this one, what do you think that meant?
Well,
What more do you want from the man?
Do you know what? I'm just worried about your brain because I actually, in some...
I'm looking at it right here.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't be wrong
No.
that often, but it's like, that was my worry. I actually thought he had 2 out of it, but anyway, there you go.
Well, you're wrong.
How many % game time did he play in that other game?
Which one? The Brisbane one, round 5?
round
When he
5.
had a 44 in that one.
Yep.
He came on and he had 69% game time.
Okay, so he must have had a fair chunk of game.
Because he was, Salem was injured in that one.
Yeah, that's right, and that happened super early.
So I go off actual research, right? Not just opinion.
Content creator.
How do I ever?
At least you don't sit on the fence, Calvinator. That's what it is.
Get splinters in your bum.
All right. Mickey wants to know, that he's an actual Mickey with a Y on the end. Who do we trust more on field? Is it Clohesy or Graham? Now, they've both got the Q clash this week.
Interesting, isn't it, these two now?
Mickey Yee.
I still feel like I've got more confidence in Clohesy.
Do you?
Yeah.
The way Clohesy's arm was wobbling around as he ran off,
Yep.
I've nearly gone flicked to Graham now. Now, is it just reactive score chasing from me? Possibly. But
I just don't understand. I know Graham's pressure with his tackles are all there,
Yeah.
but he's contributing with 4 kicks. So are they liking his tackles and just going, look, you've done enough there, mate. Your
he's
defensive
doing a
work
bit
is
of grunt
great.
work. I think he had double-figure handballs as well. So if he's getting it out to a runner and all that sort of thing, there's more chance of Clohesy being stuck on a cold wing.
Yeah.
So that's what is that 270s and a 50 now for him.
Yep.
I think I've flicked to
works hard. I
Graham.
do like him.
Oh,
I
same
think it's just
here.
the access to points because of those tackles, but then again, he only had 4 kicks.
And the sore arm.
So he is there.
Yeah, I'm backing Graham, over
Look,
Clohesy.
I'm leaning that way too now. So in the last 4 weeks, he's been their number 4 banana, and that's behind your Touk, your Rowan, and your Anderson.
Okay, that's where I'm.
High rotations
landing.
for him.
Yeah.
High rotations.
Henza, Liam Baker or Dylan Moore? We went Moore, didn't we?
We're
But he
Moore.
does say, I have more faith in Baker. I do not have more in Moore.
Right.
Well, hopefully our
That's true.
rankings helped you.
Yes.
And we
Go
have
back and
more
listen to
ahead.
that. No, thanks, Henza. And that's us, done.
Yeah.
Calviny.
Calviny.
Thanks for being here, Roy. We'll see you on Thursday night for AFL Fantasy Live, 6:15 on afl.com.au and the AFL Live official app. You can catch that show there. We'll answer heaps of questions. I know there's a lot that we didn't get to today, but hopefully we covered a fair bit with that. And there'll be great articles this week from Roy with the stock take and Calvin with Fantasy Ready. So make sure you tune into those. And, of course, our video preview, which is been pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a ripper.
Been pretty good.
Pretty good.
And catch us all on social media. We've got plenty of stuff to come, plenty of stuff to get into. We'll have other advice throughout all those other formats as well.
Yeah.
Is that enough?
Yeah, that's enough.
Good job, lads.
All right, Roy, do you even say it on this one?
I can start if
Yeah.
I don't.
Why not?
As always, even though it might be the first time, good luck and happy trading.
Good one.
Thanks.